Hello, welcome to JA Millionaire Circle, where wealth starts with mindset, where Jazmin and Angelica, two ambitious Latinas sharing our raw, real-time journey to millionaire status. No overnight success stories here, just the hustle, lessons, and mindset shifts as we make it happen. Let's build, elevate, and inspire together. Welcome back. Hi, Angelica. How are you?
Hi, Jazz. I'm good. We're back.
We're
How are you?
back. I know. I told Angelica, I'm like, well, let's just address the elephant in the room. We have not been on for quite some time. Life got busy lifing, so we've had so many exciting things, both good and bad. Part of this journey of just trying to self elevate comes with its good parts and its bad parts. It's definitely a roller coaster ride, and I thought we would share today what have we been up to and the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, I know on Angelica's part, she has news. I think where we left off, she had applied to the PhD program, and I think we announced that you had gotten accepted. So, what's been going on?
I did. This year, I am so excited. Started that. It wasn't an easy approval. It was like, hey, it was a negotiation to get in that program. It wasn't like I was chosen. It was, hey, negotiating kind of like a job. So this year
Wow.
I chose to step into that, pursuing my PhD in family and consumer health sciences. So studying consumer behavior from across all cultures. So I thought that was interesting from learning how to be an entrepreneur, take that into business. I can apply it to different aspects like fashion, personalities and things like that. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. I took two classes. One was ethical reasoning, and then I took the other one in publishing. So I did a presentation and a proposal, and I presented in front of my colleagues, and I was able to get a manuscript done and do all that fun stuff. And then I realized it was a little easier than I thought it would be for me. So now I am just starting to get back into the work field and focusing on other areas. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, before I jump into me, was the program everything you thought it was going to be? Like, it sounds like it wasn't as hard as you thought it was going to be.
I thought it was going to be arduous and extensive, but I mean, the only reason why it is a little easier for me is because I didn't have a gap. Like, I didn't wait, need a master's to get into the program. So I only waited 8 months to go back into school. Had I waited 3 or 4 years, I would have been a little rusty. But instead, I just got back right on the road and it was just like, oh, it's like my master's, but with more extensive research. Like there's a lot more effort. Now you're
Yeah.
doing public presentations, like I'm listening to dissertations, I'm auditing dissertations, I am intervening in dissertations, I'm creating my mock for my dissertations, and we also did role playing and they were like Dr. Asbel or Dr. Gossett and how do you feel about this? And so that felt really good. I was like, oh crap, this is actually my
Oh my
life.
God, what a
Pinch me,
flex. That
please.
is so
I know.
awesome. So when you're
I
done with this
know.
program, you will be doctor?
Dr. Gossett. I know. I'm super, super excited. So I could
Wow.
go be a professor and teach at like a university, or I can go and apply that to a really big company and do as business analytics. So that way I can offer what the trends are and things like that since I'm studying consumer behavior. And I feel like it's a little more deeper than that for me because I went and got my undergrad in psychology to understand the human mind.
Yeah.
And then I went and got my master's because I wanted to understand cultures. Given the way I grew up, I didn't understand what family dynamics were, what it looked like, why people committed crimes, who were the most people that committed crimes. So to me, I felt like that was identifying cultures. And so now I'm pulling that into study consumer behavior. So I think I bring a lot to the table now with other institutions that I can provide that to, whether it be a professor or go work for a really big company and be like an executive of some part.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. And what a flex to say, like, it totally reminds me of like Legally Blonde. Like, you got into Harvard? Like, what? Like, it's
What?
hard?
It's hard. It is like that, and I feel it's so different. Like the immediate shift with the personality and the confidence is crazy. Like my Wi-Fi's name is Dr. Asbel. Like
Woo!
my hotspot's Dr. Asbel. Everything's Dr. Asbel. In fact, I went into Chanel the other day to buy my foundation, like a refill. And they were like, "Can you have an account with us?" I was like, "No," and I created it and they were like, "Is it Mrs., Miss, or Doctor?" And I said,
Doctor.
"Yeah, Doctor." And that was last weekend and I was like, I was having a mini panic attack. I was like, "This is me. This what?"
This
Like I
is
was pinching
real.
myself. So
Oh,
it felt so cool. And then after that, they like treated me with the utmost respect and they were like white glove service, even though they already provide that. They just wanted a little deeper. And I was like, I didn't really want that, but
yeah,
I
you
mean, it
do.
felt
You
good. Now
earned
I'm
it.
like, yeah, now I'm like, I feel totally, I, don't- some might call it arrogant. Some people, you go and succeed and you take the next step, and some people, instead of clapping, they start throwing stones. And so that's like the heavy part of it. And that's kind of what we wanted to transition into
Yes.
with the ups and downs. But tell us about you, and then we'll morph into
Yes.
that.
Yes, definitely. I'll tell you what I've been up to, and then we can kind of cover some of the negative aspects of while we're working and building.
She's
So,
publishing a book. Sorry,
I
had to
know.
throw that in there. I'm
Yes,
excited.
yes. So yes, she alluded to. I have taken we took some time away so we could focus on our respective projects. I have been focusing on building my business. I've been out there just promoting it locally, online, and also I was writing a book. So the book is now complete. Last week, I finished the photo shoot for the book, and the manuscript is done. And it is now with the creative team. And this book will be coming out in September. It is the Elegant Woman's Guide to Confidence, Mindset, and Wealth. So it's going to be very exciting. It kind of gives you a little taste of what it's like to work with me on my one-on-one consulting. At least it'll give you a baseline. So this will come out next month. And so a lot of this has been like not only building the book, but how am I going to promote the book? How am I going to get the word out there? And still, I have clients that I meet with. I've started getting clients, so that's been building up as well. And in the meantime, just trying to pay the bills, make sure that I stay up to date on all of my finances and how I do my investments. And so this year has challenged me to get even better. I thought it was great with finances. I've gotten even better. When you are looking at everything and you're being pushed under this kind of pressure, that's when creative ideas come out. So, in the moment, there's been so many moments of crying and struggling and going like, God, why is this so hard? I had a vision and nothing's working exactly like the vision. But part of that pressure has been where these great ideas have sparked of like, okay, now we got to take action here. Now we got to take action here. How about we try this? How about we try that? And so my financial game has stepped up so much that this has been actually pretty impressive. This is my little flex. I have gotten so good at finances and investments and understanding financial literacy to the point where in the background, I've also been dating somebody who is a wealth manager, and this person's very successful in their own right and what they do, and they they only work with. I think he said he doesn't take anybody less than like $1 million or $4 million net worth. So he definitely has big name clients. All that to say that when he and I would discuss certain financial principles and investments and all of that, he's like, do you know that you know like 90% more than the average American when it comes to this subject? He's like, it's impressive how much you know. And so I was like, that was very validating for me. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
I got the
that's a
stamp of
flex.
approval from somebody who does
Yeah.
this for a living. And he's like, you know your stuff. So that's been great. And that's actually some of my advice and tips are in the book as well, about how I manage finances. So
Dr. Literacy here.
yeah,
There you go.
that's been going on, and just trying to think of the next best thing. Like I have every quarter planned on what I want to get done. So the book is what I want to launch in Q3 of this year, and then in Q4, I think I'm going to go back to revisiting creating a product. As we know, because of how tariffs have impacted us, and we're continuing to see that. I kind of put that project in the back burner because it's very complicated if I'm going to be able to hit those margins and create something that is in the right price range, the right quality, and still profitable. So that's something I'll be revisiting in Q4 and see what happens with that. I may have to pivot. So that's been a lot of this journey. Is I came out with a plan and then I had to pivot, and then came out with another plan and then I have to pivot. Because life just happens and you can't just lay down and cry and go like it didn't work out. You're like, okay, what's the next thing? Because at the end of the day, and we've said this before, is the end goal doesn't change. The way you get there might change, and you have to be flexible with those methods. But we will get there to whatever we call success. We will get there.
We will. And I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you and how you're handling all this in such grace. I'm super excited to get the book and read it and share it and post it on LinkedIn. And I'm just so proud of you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you. I'm so
really
excited. So
am.
now it's about to get even busier. I have been invited on other podcasts, not only to talk about like my perspectives, but also to promote my book. So that's been great. And I anticipate that's going to get busier. And I've even been invited to speak on a podcast as to talk with like a panel of women to talk about what is a high value woman. So I'm
Oh my
so excited.
goodness.
More to come. It's very preliminary. I just got the invite. I believe I'm going to be on that podcast in September. So once I have more details, I'll share with you guys where you guys can watch it and see. And
Yeah.
it's going to be a panel of different women from different perspectives of what is a high value woman. So yeah.
Wow. I'm so excited for you.
I am
It's
so
gonna
ready. It's just been a year of just planting a foundation, building a foundation, believing in me, not believing in me, believing in me, not believing in
the
me.
tugging.
Gosh, so much.
Hmm.
And now I feel like, okay, all these little seeds that I've been planting, it's going to come together. It's going to, just doesn't happen overnight, but it's going to come together. I remember telling you, I think I told you this on another podcast, that I said, I'm not building a house, I'm building a skyscraper. So this is going to take some time to build
It
the
is.
foundation. It's got to be wide, it's got to be deep. Um, Sounds like a
No
song from,
loose grease.
I was going to say, it sounds like a song from Beyonce.
Oh my goodness. No, but you're building a legacy. That's part of it. It is. I agree. It's deep. Yeah, you're right. I forgot what song that was from her.
Ego.
Big ego. Yeah, that one. I got a big ego. Yeah, I know which one. It's too small. It's too deep. I love that song. I'm actually gonna play it after this. That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be the song.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, both of us are trying to break the chain of generational trauma, generational poverty, and change the trajectory. That is not easy. Like, we are the first in our lineage to do this. This is insane. It's outrageous. It's astronomical. It takes so much effort because there was so much momentum from generation to generation to bring us to this point, and we decided to say the train stops here and now we're going to turn it in a different direction. It's so much effort, and at times can be very isolating. And that was the next point we wanted to go into, because sometimes we feel isolated not only from friends but also from family, because how we're living our life and the decisions we're choosing, they don't understand.
It's an unfamiliar, unwalkable. I mean, it's not a path for them, and it's hard. It's hard to explain that. And we were talking earlier with like it's like explaining quantum physics. It's a deeper rooted thing. It's internal. So it's very hard to describe that and for them to comprehend. And it's not like an arrogant way of being. It's just like you said, a little bit of isolating because you're trying to break a social norm that's been centuries back, generation after generation, and you're changing it.
What are you noticing? Like, what have been some of the downs? What are you noticing on your side? And I'll share what I noticed this past year on my side.
Well, good question. I've spent most of my life doing what other people won't do or haven't done. and or want to do. Um, you have to be willing to, I mean, for me, what I'm noticing is to be willing and have that courage to walk away from the noise, the betrayal, and not like understanding the way they're coming from and where I am to tie it together to comfort myself. My whole life, I've walked on eggshells trying to make everyone else happy and trying to shrink to their standard. And then I realized that I was betraying myself in the process and it was compromising my values. And I thought, this is unfair to me. And so I mean, I feel like the norm is an average life. Like some people just want to purchase a home and get a dream car and work at the same job for 18 years. That's fine. I have nothing against that. But I feel that it is very hard to navigate when everyone you come across is like that. Or they're exposed, like we grew up completely abnormal. So they're still exposed to, some people think it's normal to still go to jail or be around social different environments that I can't be around because I'm a doctor now. So I have asked a family member, hey, can you remove this photo of me? You're doing things that are compromising my image and it looks bad on me. If you want to go and smoke and drink and throw money wherever, don't include me in that. And so that's been a little hard because a lot of people have been labeling me as arrogant. And to me, I feel like to me it's not arrogance that I've earned this. And that's the isolating part that they don't understand. Oh, she's too good for us. Oh, she thinks she's better. Now that I've gotten into this PhD program, I'm like, I am better. I'm not going to shrink for you because you want to be average and you're still buying illegal food stamps. Like, I'm not, no,
You're like
this isn't the
facts.
EBT office. Like, yeah, I'm no longer going to shrink to make you comfortable because it's offending to you because it's a reflection of what you're not willing to do. That has nothing to do with me.
Ooh,
And if I look like I'm intimidating or whatever, that's your call of insecurity.
that's a
That's,
you thing. That's
yeah,
not
that
me.
is I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of being the one that has to take all the punches and hits because I'm standing for what I believe in. But for what I believe in is wrong. So I'm like, a lot of people just start, instead of clapping and supporting, they just start throwing stones. They want to destroy your image, they want to destroy you, or they're like, I've got everything that they've ever wished for and some. So how do you parry that? And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to come from it from an arrogant position, but it's extremely hard for me. I feel like for anyone, even in this process, on the way to it, you're continuously being underestimated. You're continuously being shamed for wanting more. And that's something you just can't fix. After a while, you have to be willing to walk away. You can't look at to me, I don't want to be understood by average people. That's not my goal. And so that's part of what I'm navigating through right now. I'm not, that brand in Walmart, I think it's called Great Value or something like that. I don't need a label to tell me that I'm valuable. I'm not waiting for someone to pick me up from the shelf. I know what I bring. And for me, I feel like, why am I sitting here having to fight for wanting to be valuable to someone's life that they don't even value themselves for? Like, you don't even, so,
I think a great comparison is like when you think of luxury brands, like Bentley doesn't go out there begging you for them to love you, to love them. You know, Chanel doesn't go out there begging people to love their brand. It's like,
no.
no, you come to them. If you are them, then you come to them. Like they don't go begging for your business.
Yeah, they don't have to market and they
Yeah.
don't have to change
Yeah.
their
And it's the
algorithm
same
or
thing.
anything.
Like you don't need to go chase anybody down. You're just inherently valuable. You come to me.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel with your journey? That's kind of pieces of it, but we can
Yeah.
navigate through it and talk through it. But I
Yeah.
know that you said some things too that kind of felt similar on this path because we're just constantly, elevating, but it doesn't feel like we're elevating.
Yeah.
So how's that for you, like with the isolation part?
A part of it is like it's been self inflicted because I need to stay focused. I can't be distracted. But the other part has been like in my situation, it was family. There was a situation where I realized a family member stopped inviting me because their excuse was that they didn't think I could afford to go or be a part of, or anyway, it was really painful to hear because I was like, I don't know. I guess I had expected more support. Yeah, there's certain things I cannot. It's not that I can't afford it. It's because it's not part of the goal right now. Like my funds are going to very specific places. I have a goal. I want to get there as fast as possible. Like this point of being tight, monetarily constrained, it's hard. It's mentally hard. Like there was a certain lifestyle I was accustomed to, and I have to keep reminding myself that lifestyle and better is waiting for me on the other side of this discomfort. Just stick through it. Just bear through it. Keep going. Keep staying consistent. And but it's just so hard that to find out that there's been people along the way that stopped inviting me and stopped, having me included because they thought I couldn't afford it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. And I'm like, and I had a very sarcastic comment that I said to Angelica. I told her, I said, okay, I'll remember that. And I said, I'll remember that when I'm on my yacht and then I don't invite them.
Sorry, can't afford it.
I'm
No,
like, sorry, I
there's,
didn't think you could afford
yeah.
it.
And you have the right to feel that way, to take pride in what you're doing, excuse me. And I feel like, you know, a Bugatti doesn't have more than two seats for a reason, because half of the people aren't willing to do what we're doing right now. They're
Yeah.
not. Some people are living to live in a moment. We're living to build a legacy. There's two different distinctive things happening right now. So
Yeah.
you own that. Don't feel bad for owning
Yeah.
it.
There's been that. And then also, like, overall, my friends have been very supportive. But I think I'm harder on myself because there's moments that you doubt yourself. You're like, why did I choose such a hard route? Like I had a comfy job, I had a comfy salary. Like now that I'm a year out since I quit the corporate job, you start thinking of it in fonder eyes. You're like, oh man, I had such a cush lifestyle. I had all these luxuries. Why did I leave? That self-doubt starts to permeate through. And then when I meet with certain friends who have chosen different paths in life who have chosen marriage, the white picket fence, the home, and all of those things, which is the American dream. And again, nothing wrong with that. But it makes me question. I'm like, wow, I chose a very different path. Did I choose the right one? And then I've had those moments of existential crisis of did I make the right choice? Am I going down the right path? And after I cry and I have my meltdown, I think back, and every single time it comes back without question. I would not choose that life. I cannot go back. I've already taken, in the Matrix, I've already taken the red pill. I've seen too much. I know too much. I cannot go back. I already know what that path leads to. I already know it's not for me. So even though right now this path, I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know where it's going to end. God, I hope it ends to where I'm trying to work towards and even better. I would rather do this and be in this misery than to go back to a life that I know does not fulfill me and is not in alignment with my ultimate values. So it's such a prison sentence to be attached to, because right now I am in the thick of it. I am making some progress, but I'm fighting tooth and nail for it. I'm building everything from the ground up. I do every single thing. I am every single role. This is the first time I think I've hired somebody outside of me to actually help me do something, because I have been everything. So for the book, I actually broke down and hired a creative team, which I'm so glad, because they made it look 10 times better, 100 times better than I could have done. So, but yeah, it's just, that's the mental struggle. I think being an entrepreneur is more mental, and I think I've heard this over and over. It's more mental than it's going to be anything else. That's the struggle. And there's been multiple times where I've thought about going back to my corporate job. I'm embarrassed to say that, but there's been multiple times when I'm seeing my savings deplete, when I know the bills are coming regardless, and Got to figure out how to support myself, even though like I'm putting more money into the business than is coming back right now, which is expected. Even the IRS says it takes about 3 years for a business to be profitable. Yeah, it's those moments where I'm like, should I just go back? You know? And then
So you're
I
planning to.
think the universe is not allowing me to because I have applied. and I'm like, there's a reason I'm not getting hired. I think I really burned those bridges. And I think
You're
that's
getting a
intentional. I
big
think
break.
I'm not supposed to go back.
But sometimes when that happens, it's because you're going to experience something better. Like that's when your big break comes. So, I mean, I feel for you in this situation because I feel like we talk about it all the time. Like we haven't talked in a few weeks or
Months,
some
yeah.
time. Yeah. And so every time we catch up, we're on the same frequency. And it's so crazy because we're up one day and then we're not. And
Yeah.
I, I don't know, it's hard. But what's harder is why it feels so comfortable to straight into comfort. And that's hard. I feel like it's something that, like I said, it's like explaining the quantum physics to someone. I said it earlier, who's been smoking pot every day since they were 16. They don't reach their potential. And how do I say this? I don't want to lose my words. You can't reach your potential when your first instinct is to numb the issue. And
Hmm.
most people get somewhere, I mean, don't get anywhere because they go and their first instinct is to suppress the issue versus you're facing that monster head on. No substances, no noise, no distractions. So it seems a lot more difficult because your monster's bigger. You're not
Yeah.
using a shortcut to suppress something and put a band-aid on a bullet wound. You're just head on. And that's
Yeah.
how I feel, you know? No, nothing, I'm not talking down on anyone or anything, but
Yeah.
a lot of people um with the sorry, I stutter with this medication. Their instinct is to run. And
Hmm.
that's fine. A lot of people have different strength in different areas and it's hard because this path is there's no direction, there's no map,
Yeah,
there's
there's
no
no map at all. There's no map.
yeah. I mean, the only thing that I could say is a map to is like having that discipline and that mental fortitude, like having that work ethic, having that ambition to keep on, because most people don't really experience that and release that, and they're just depending on those crutches and don't know what life looks like without those crutches of living in that and immersing yourself completely like you are.
I was listening. I listen to different like motivational speakers and all of that, but there was one that was talking about how it's not about getting the million. It's about who. It's not about. They said something like it's not about getting. I guess getting the millions or getting $1 million. It's about who you need to become in order to obtain the $1 million, the multi-million dollars. And I could not resonate more with that because I thought I was ready for it last year. But let me tell you, I've learned so much in this past year. I didn't realize there were still areas of my game that I needed to level up, and I leveled up this year. And I feel like next year, again, I'm going to go back another year and go like, shoot, like all the stuff that leveled me up here. Like, I mean, we were talking about me. Okay, so when I told you about my book, so there was something I learned this year about publishing, self-publishing a book. I purchased my own ISBN number. That means that I am self-published. I purchased the ISBN number, and if you look it up, it'll say published by Elegant Empower LLC, which is my company. So I am all around the owner of this book. Nobody helped me. Nobody published me. It was me and my little company, and that was something I learned, this year too. I'm like, there's so much to learn. There's so much to do. What do you
It's
think?
incredible. I mean, it's an incredible journey to understand. It's hard. I mean, I agree. I like the quote you read, and I hate that it's a difficult time for us right now, I guess, and it's hard to accept that. I kind of feel defeated. But
Gosh,
these
yeah.
are the raw emotions, and this is what we're doing it for, to share this so that way other people, when they are going through it, at least somebody's holding their hand. No one's holding our hand through this
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
And it's hard losing friends or family. And to me, I've just been taking that as I was built for a different level, and so were you. And the people that have made it this far, if you ever been, treated differently for your dreams, just know I think you're headed in the right path,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah,
one where
absolutely.
people take you down and want to take you down and make you look like the bad person or what they want to do. And I think the more unfamiliar and the more unclear this path becomes, the more I'm attracted to the elusiveness of it all because I feel like I'm cracking the code in some way. It's
Oh,
kind of
I
like
love that you're
mystery.
drawn to the unknown. I'm a person that I'm a very calculated risk taker, so I research the crap out of everything before I make moves. When it comes to investments, when it comes to finances, everything was like very calculated. So I struggle with unknowns because I want to feel safe. If I know something, then I know there's safety behind it. So a lot of this has been literally walking by faith, hoping the money's going to be there, hoping the return is going to be there. And I love that you're drawn to the unknown because it drives me crazy. I mean, in
Yeah.
retrospect, like it's always 2020, in reverse. And when you look back and you're like, oh, that made sense. That's why I had to do that. That's why I had to do that. That's why that had to happen. This connected me to that person. This experience got me ready for this. But it's hard when you're in it and you're like, why am I going through this?
Yeah. It's hard to understand where you're like, we're kind of like in no man's land, and there's like one day there's a tsunami, one day there's snow, one day there's rain, one day there's like sun for 8 straight weeks. Like it's weird.
I
It's so
swear,
strange.
I feel like I'm bipolar. Like there's I am on the highest high in the morning, on the lowest low at night. Like I can feel extremes in the same day, and I'm like, am I going crazy? Am I like I've lost my mind because I am at the highest high, then the lowest low, and I'm like, my life is amazing. I'm making the right choices. My life is terrible. I've made very bad choices.
I know. And it doesn't help that you're like completely secluded. Wait, is it secluded? Yeah, secluded from where you're from. Like you're in a
Yeah.
whole different state doing this, and so
I'm
am
in a
I. And I'm
different
like,
state by myself, just like you are
me
by
too.
yourself.
Yeah.
No support, no safety net. We are on our own, like completely
No
on
one's
our own.
ever even left where I'm from. Like everybody's from there, raised there, stays there. And
Hmm.
that is just, I'm the first one to break that norm. And
Yeah,
given that we're older siblings, we like to know what's going to happen. We like to know the plan. We like to know the itinerary.
yeah,
Unfortunately, this path doesn't come with an itinerary. So
yeah,
we gotta roll with it, roll with the punches.
yeah. So it wasn't exactly. I mean, would you call this podcast positive or negative? I don't know. I think it's real. This is what it looks like. This is what the journey looks like. Not that we're trying to make anyone afraid of it. It's just I think so many times people show the highlight reel. Like when this is all said and done, they're going to be like, "Oh my god, you're so lucky." I heard that so much when people saw my wins. They were like, "Oh, you were so lucky." What about the year where I was crying? The year I was busting my butt. The year I worked 3 jobs. The year like they only see the win and they're like, "Oh my god, you're so lucky. I wish that happened for me. I wish like it can, but it's just not easy. It doesn't get handed to you. You got to fight for it every single day. There's times I am crying, but still pushing through what needs to be done. I never let my emotions stop me from carrying out what needs to be done. I just do it crying. I do it stressed. I do it overwhelmed. I just do it. Like you cannot let your emotions stop you from taking action. It's the action and the consistent action over time that accumulates and moves the needle forward. Even if it's a little thing, do a little thing towards the goal every single day, and before you know it, you have moved this much further than you would have had you did nothing that day. Just one little action every day.
I concur. I
Right.
concur. Because I mean, the time's going to pass anyways. And I feel like now these days with the technology advancing and everything else, I mean, people are making it normal to live past 100. So I feel
Mhm.
like there's an enormous amount of pressure that's unnecessary sometimes on us. Like we always feel like we have to go from A to Z overnight, and social media, doesn't really help when you see everybody or somebody in a Rolls Royce and they're like going to dinner at Nobu on Monday and you're like, what? Do they not work or whatever? And then it's even harder for us because we're Latina. So like
Mhm.
opportunities don't always come quickly. They're like, we still I face discrimination sometimes too, but I also face discrimination from being pretty, and so do you, I'm sure. Like, that's why when I go into places, I have to, or meet new people, I have to say, I have to be a little nicer. I have to be the one to make that step. And I had an interview the other day for this really big fashion company, and everyone was a little underdressed, and I went in my high heels and trousers and looked to the nines and the makeup, and I said, I had to tell her, I said, I know I look like I had it all together today. I look like it. I made it look easy. I said, but I've worked extremely hard to get where I am. In fact, when I got to college, they told me I wasn't college level ready. I told the whole
Mhm.
spiel,
Mhm.
and it just completely illuminated the whole situation. And it went from being intimidated to, oh crap, she actually earned where she is, and that's hard to navigate through. You get double whammy when you're pretty and you're Latina. Like you
Yeah.
struggle making your way into that world of the elite and being
Yeah.
accepted. Because
Yeah.
if you're Latina, they don't really respect you. I feel that way. Or
Mhm.
if you're pretty, they think you slept your way through the top. So there's no
Mhm.
winning, you know? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like
Does that
that
make
pretty
sense?
privilege is like a double-edged sword. It can work towards you or it can work against you depending on the demographic that you're around. Um, yeah, I mean, even if it's men, like it could work against you. Like they're they're not necessarily looking at your credibility. They're just looking at the package you presented. But it's a very delicate landscape to navigate because you want to make sure you have a polished presentation, that you look like you're competent, because part of looking competent for women, whether you like it or not, is making sure you have your makeup done, your hair done, your clothes are put together, your clothes are pressed. Like that's all part of that polished presentation. But we also have to make sure we're not too sexy dressed, not too much clingy clothes, because then that communicates a different thing. So it's like the Barbie movie said, it's difficult being a woman.
It is, but it's imperative. Like
Yeah.
the things we're saying,
Mhm.
and not that long ago, I went to a really nice cigar bar, and the kids, they had like a little red carpet when you exit, up the stairs. It was really nice, and they were
Mhm.
kids that, were outside messing around on the scooters, and they were like, "Y'all was in there with the rich folks," and I thought it was so cute. I had a few glasses of whiskey and a cigar or whatever,
That's
and I was
cute.
like, "Sure, yeah." And then they were like, "How did you get in?" And da da da. And I said, "Well, you present yourself. Presentation matters. How you dress. It's a form of respect." I kind of explained that, and they were like, "Huh?" They were like, I could see their brains thinking,
Mhm.
but there was no action. Like I don't know how to describe that part of it, but the girl, she was wearing chanclas,
Mhm.
and my husband was like, why are you wearing chanclas? She goes, at least my toes are painted. And I said, what he meant to say was, hey, um, I straight up said, hey, this generation stopped watching James Bond, and that shows. Like, if you watch those elegant, timeless movies, what happened to that? This generation's in Crocs, and what do they call them? Slides? I don't know what they
Mhm.
are, but every drug dealer stripper wears them. So you
Oh,
got to be careful what you wear. You don't want to be presented as those kinds of people, And so I told them, I was like, you need to watch James Bond.
there's still a demographic, and some of them are very young, and I've seen it both men and women, but it's a small demographic who are really embracing the classic look, the timeless look, the old money look. Like it's there, it's just small. But classic never goes out of style. That's the beauty, is like even with your wardrobe. If you invest in classic pieces, you can wear them for years to come. They will never go out of style. Nice pair of trousers, a nice button up, a nice jacket. Those things will never go out of style. So to me that's worth the investment, and it says a lot. It communicates so much. Do you know that that somebody makes a judgment on you in less, like, you make a first impression in about 7 seconds. It takes 7 seconds before you even open your mouth. Based on how you're dressed, your appearance, and how you hold yourself, people will make a judgment in 7 seconds. Sometimes that's all you get. That's how important. So if anybody's like, oh, I shouldn't have to dress like, I'm sorry, I didn't make the rules. Psychologically, people will pass a judgment on you in 7 seconds. So that's how important that packaging makes. Like, I've noticed the difference when I go to the airport in full glam and dress. I am treated so differently versus when I show up like in like yoga pants, workout, and no makeup and my hair up in a bun. Totally different interactions, and I am the same person.
Wow.
But it's
Yeah, because you're
true.
seeing they're like, well, she must be traveling for business, or she might be travel for leisure. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you got to present yourself in the way you want to be approached. Like, you can tell just by the way someone opens a door, by the way someone pulls their seat out. And,
Mhm.
sometimes we go to nice restaurants and there's some weird person that drags the chair. And I'm like, this is a Michelin star restaurant. Why are you dragging the chair? But you can make that judgment within four
Yeah.
or 5 seconds. Like, okay, she probably wasn't raised in a military family, or she probably didn't have a father, or you make those little, they do. And it
Yeah.
sucks because people like us that actually go through it have to work 10 times harder not to make those impressions.
Yeah. It,
And so,
not
yeah.
knowing etiquette, again, that's one of the things that I coach on, and is etiquette. Not knowing etiquette really can make you stand out in the worst way. It shows that you don't belong. You don't know the protocol, you don't know how to conduct yourself, and depending on the group of people that you're with, it can make a really bad impression, especially if you're trying to elevate to new um, settings, restaurant settings, social clubs. When you know the protocol and you know the etiquette, you're more likely to assimilate a lot easier than somebody who doesn't dress like you belong there. You didn't dress appropriate to the venue. You're not acting appropriate to the venue. You're not going to be accepted. You're less likely to be accepted.
And that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Sometimes I go to fine dining restaurants with my friends and there's, some girl with an enormous BBL and sunglasses and boobs out, and I'm like, cool, all for the culture. If that's maybe I'd label that culture, I
Yeah.
guess, but it's a little disturbing whenever I'm sitting there having this nice glass of wine that somebody worked 110 years for to plant these grapes to get them to taste the right way for the notes of the wine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have someone that doesn't respect themselves and probably does. I mean, I can just make that judgment. And then it takes away from what I worked so hard to go enjoy. That takes the excitement away from me. I'm like,
It's all part
go
of
to
the
these places.
experience. Yeah. And it
Right.
took
You
away
go
from
to
the
these
experience.
places to be
Yeah.
exclusive and so I would just it's okay to have those things, I guess, but there's a time and a place to dress that way. Like,
Yeah.
you want to respect the other people that work their butt off to afford that dining experience, and
Yeah.
otherwise you just come the show for the rest of the night. And who wants
In
that?
the bad way. In a bad
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I guess we can wrap up here. But I would love to, since we're both big on music, has there been a song that has been motivating, inspiring, that you have been listening to on repeat? Because I have one.
Go ahead, you first.
Is there one that I'm like, I have to think about the title? Let me bring it up. Do you already have one?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Where is it? I have to find it.
We probably have the same one.
No, I don't think so. I
Okay.
really don't think so. This one's called I Don't Gotta Work Again from the Manifest Music Room. Oh my God, I've been listening to it's like a affirmation being sung, and she's just talking about how, life is easy, life flows, money flows. I never have to work again. And in my head, I'm thinking, when I say I never have to work again, it's not that I'm not building something or building a business or it doesn't, I want it to feel like I'm not working. Like this is fun. I can't believe I'm doing this. I receive money for bringing this value. I receive money for getting to provide such a valuable product to people that want it and need it. And it's just I brought you value, you brought me value. I never have to work again.
Mm, that's deep, girl. But we're also very cinematic people. Like, I live my life as it's like this might sound egotistic, but I live my life like if I'm on a movie
You're the main
because
character.
yeah, I feel like my story is such a compelling story that maybe one day it'll be like on a Netflix series or something. And
Write a
yours
book.
too. Like, so I just feel like when I'm listening to these musics, you know, like you said, the songs and things like that, I'm envisioning getting out of that jet. I'm envisioning drinking that champagne that's been in the cellar for 120 years. I'm envisioning the Osetra or the beluga caviar I want on my waffles because
Yeah.
I want a waffle with caviar. So, right now my song is Lose My Mind with Don Toliver and Doja Cat from the F1 movie with Brad Pitt. That is my
That was
repeat
such a great
song.
movie.
It
That was
was.
so
That
motivated.
is my song. I'm
Okay,
like,
I gotta go
warning,
back and listen to that song because that movie was amazing.
girl. I listen to that song and I'm like, warning for everyone. My condolences if you like toss me to the side.
Ooh.
Don't ever contact me again. Don't ever downplay me again. And don't ever try to invite yourself in my life again. You've made that exit. Stay that way. I'm coming for everything. My condolences ahead of time.
The trash took itself out. Wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you. Well, on that note, I just want to, I don't know if I've ever shared this. If I usually put it in the description. My company, the website is www.elegantempowerment.net. If you are interested in working with me, doing any one-on-one coaching, you can find my links there on the website. If you would love to get notified when my book drops in September, I haven't set a date yet. You can sign up for my email newsletter and I will notify you when it drops. So,
Awesome.
on that note, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every other week, and we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what topics you'd love for us to cover next. Until then, keep chasing your dreams and making them a reality.
Bye, guys.
Bye.